It's a beautiful afternoon here. I'm home for lunch. I was at a morning meeting down south, and I thought, well, I have another meeting tonight. Sometimes it's like that. And it was chilly this morning. It feels like fall in the air to me. A few leaves are turning yellow. So I motorcycled down there today just so I had a leg up on parking. But I think I might drive to this evening meeting. And I kind of don't want to go into the office because I'm in the middle of a unintentional software upgrade. So come on, don't go out. Thing about matches. Flash of wind's kind of coming from this direction. That's a little better. So last Thursday, my computer said, hey, there are some important Windows updates. You really need to do these. So I did. It took like an hour. Oh my gosh. I just chalked it up to slow internet connection. But honestly, I think it was doing a whole reload of the .NET interface, the foundational stuff in Windows. So that really affected me. I use this software called GIS software, and it's pretty complex stuff. It's pretty heavy duty, but I was thinking about this. How long have I been using this software? MapInfo Professional. I have been using it for almost 27 years. That's pretty remarkable. And really, the interface hasn't changed much. Which, it does everything I need it to do, and it is so efficient. I know where everything is. I just go, somebody says, can you show me this and this? I'll go, why, yes, I can. Click, 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 print. There you go. So, MapInfo chose to stop developing the 32-bit version, which I was using, and switch to the 64-bit version, which would have been awesome if they had left the interface alone, but they did not. They did what Microsoft did what ESRI did, what a lot of companies do. They just boom, put a bomb in it, explode it, and kind of like wherever everything lands, that's where it is now, and it's named something different, which makes continuity and efficiency very hard to maintain. So thus I have been using version 15, which was the last of the 32-bit versions. And I know, I should have updated, I should have upgraded, but none of the features that were being offered were of use to me. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll just keep being efficient. So I put it off, I even bought a new PC that I was going to devote exclusively to 64-bit apps. And so at Christmas time, I got that all set up, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and so I intended to make that transition. But honestly, the 32-bit software is so efficient that I loathed the hours, the days of unproductivity. So I put it off. Fatal mistake. So in the latest Windows update, suddenly I can't do all kinds of things in the 32-bit software. It will load, but I can't print without running out of memory immediately. I can't do a lot of things that I need to do. So So I have to try and figure it out in the new version. And I thought, well, I'm of lower to average intelligence. I can figure this out. This is, by the way, a Brian Doran pipe from Wheeling, West Virginia. Pretty cool, huh? Nice. I do kind of wish he would use larger than 3/4. I wish he'd use 7/8 chamber sizing, because my fat fingers like don't really fit in there very well. I realize that's a problem unique to me. So, well, that didn't really work. So, smoking some Peter Stuckeby Balkan Supreme from 2009, which, you know, I think it's sort of past its wonderfulness peak and is now in decline, because I just can't taste it as much as I used to. It used to have this remarkably great flavor. Now it's getting pretty light. So, still nice, really smooth. So back to my tale of woe. So, suddenly I can't use the 32-bit version anymore. So I'm trying to figure out how to do things in this new version. And yeah, there is a manual. It's 1,400 pages, PDF only, with only an index, or no index at the back, but just a table of contents at the front. And as I said, they've decided to rename things. So it's just frustratingly time-consuming to even figure out the merest things. And I'll have to do this with 2 other GIS packages that I need to be proficient with. So my work life is hell at the moment. I know it's a first world problem. But, oh my gosh. Is my head flattened from banging on the work surface? It should be. And well, anybody who's using Windows and isn't already using Windows 10, isn't that lovely? I have a laptop with Windows 10, but I downloaded a Windows shell that sort of mimics Windows 7. So that helps. Because once again, it's an interface that is confounding and also completely unnecessary for what I use it for. You know, it's like, quit it. Just quit changing the interface. I remember when, see, I'm really dating myself, because I started in, no, I did start in a Windows version, but I think we were still using Windows 3.1. So when Windows first came out, I was doing CAD work in Denver for a big architectural company. And boy, I really saw that was the future. That was, the graphical interface was absolutely the future. And we'd already seen it. We were using big Spark workstations running on a VAX. So each workstation cost about $125,000, $150,000 and required some real serious trained people. So we build out those CAD stations as if they were a person at an hourly rate back then. I mean, it was amazing. But the Intergraph software was mostly graphical. And then I got into AutoCAD, which moved us into the PC realm. So that was a big step. But the early Windows interface was, I laugh thinking about it now, but, and how buggy it was, oh my gosh. But Xerox, who had kind of come up with the original graphical user interface, that then Apple pretty well adopted wholesale. I mean, to their benefit, we should all be using Apples. So one of the guys who developed that graphical user interface said, you know, it's all about the interface, how people use computers, and if they use computers. And that was before the internet. That was when we still had bulletin boards and all kinds of stuff. When I was a boy. So, yes, it is all about the interface. Leave it the heck alone. God, I just can't believe how. Think of my lack of productivity times 100,000 or something. How many hours that is. What the billable rate on that is. Oh my God. It is shocking to me that business puts up with that. And they only do because they're not paying attention. Or they're lured by the Kool-Aid of, oh, it's so much better. Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. It's such an improvement. Yeah. I mean, of course, do bug fixes and stuff like that, but what is exactly wrong with file edit on a menu, you know? So anyway, my sad story. I'm sure and I have to dive into it. I have to be proficient with the software. I just do. And so, yeah, that is just the way of the world, the way of my world. So anyway, I'm taking a break here before I go back to that train wreck and enjoy a pipe. It does really help me relax and sort of get perspective as much as possible. Oh, but I do need to get back because I have a conference call with Map Info. Because one other problem is I bumped into a couple of bugs almost immediately in the 64-bit version, and it's like, haven't you figured this out? You know? So apparently not. So anyway, I got to get back and take care of that. So anyway, I'm about halfway done with this pipe. I'll take it with me and maybe I'll have a chance to do a little more smoking. Otherwise, life is great. Yeah. So, how could it not be smoking Balkan Supreme in a Brian Doran pipe? You know? I mean, his pipes are awesome. And they're relatively inexpensive, and they just have a kind of a feel to them that is just really nice. So thank you, Brian. I don't know if that will focus. Not really. Well, yeah, there it did. Okay. So, yeah. But good job on the pipe.